My name is Caroline O'Brien and I'm a Rural Development Project Officer with Waterford Leader Partnership. Okay, just a brief background for those of you who may not be familiar with Waterford Leader Partnership. We're a rural development company that was formed in 1991 and we cover all of County Waterford. The company currently manages and delivers a number of programmes in County Waterford. The one for the purpose of this morning's session will be the Rural Development Programme, which unfortunately, like the other guys on the panel here, we don't have funding at the moment, but I'll go through that in more detail with you. Just to give you a brief kind of idea of what else we do, we have the Local Employment Service here in County Waterford. We also deliver the TOOS Community Work Placement Scheme, the Rural Social Scheme, and also recently Rural Broadband Connected Communities, which is a new pilot programme to try and get rural broadband up and running. Okay, so as I was saying, the Leader, the 2007 and 2013 Leader programme, the applications are currently closed and that programme is fully closed off at the moment. The objective of Leader is improving the quality of life in rural County Waterford. In the programme that's currently closed off, we received 8.3 million of funding, and during the latter of 2013 we did get some additional monies on request due to the volume of applications. So in total we had 9.2 million in that programme from 2007 to 2013. So as I said, the concept of the programme is improving the quality of life in rural areas and to encourage diversification. Okay, so then how do we do that? There's a number of measures under the Rural Development Programme, and the budgets that you'll see here are based on the programme that is closed, as we don't have the budgets for the new programme. So there's a number of measures. There's diversification into non-agricultural activities, in which we had 250,000. There's the support for business creation and development, in which we had 1.3 million, and the encouragement of tourism activities, in which we had 1.7 million. So probably for the purpose of this morning's meeting, those two measures there are the most relevant to yourselves. However, there is some more measures: the basic services for the economy and rural population, 1.1 million, village renewal and development, 1 million, conservation and upgrading of rural heritage, 1.2 million, and also actually relevant to this morning will be training and information, 800,000. Okay, so I'm going to go through the business creation and tourism activities during the presentation, but further detail on all those measures can be found on our website. So most importantly, obviously, is what's the next step with regard to funding. So as I said, the current programme is fully closed off. So there will be a new rural development programme, and it'll run from 2015 to 2020, so a 5-year programme. Now, the specific areas of intervention under the new Leader programme will be facilitating diversification, the creation of new small enterprises and job creation, promoting local development in rural areas. So as I said, it's a rural development programme, and enhancing accessibility to and use and quality of ICT in rural areas. As many of you will identify, rural broadband is a real issue. So where are we at? Basically, the new Leader programme has to be tendered for, and the first stage of that process is an expression of interest. Now that the expression of interest was issued last week. So basically what will happen is that we, Waterford Leader Partnership, will be expressing our interest in delivering the Rural Development Programme in County Waterford for the next 5-year period. So that's an 8-week process. If we are successful at that stage, there'll be then an invitation to submit your local development strategy. So that's the tendering process basically. Then the local development strategy will be assessed by the department, there'll be approvals, and then there will be the commencement of the Rural Development Programme. Now, it's likely that that process will take 6 months, so you're talking September, October, the earliest, before there will be funding on board and applications will start to be processed. Now, if you are, considering applying to funding for us, now is the perfect opportunity to start preparing and to make contact with us. As we don't have the exact details of the Leader programme, but depending on your business, there could be planning permission, there could be tendering that you need to do. So these are all stuff that you could be doing in advance to the applications being open. So the indicative budget, we did receive this information last week. The overall fund for the rural development will be 250 million. Now, the project monies and administration will be divided between 28 administrative areas, that's across the country, which there'll be a budget of 220 million, and Waterford County will be receiving just over 7.5 million in the rural development programme for 2015 to 2020. Okay, so as I don't have information on the new Leader programme because we haven't that detail ourselves yet, I'm just going to do a slight review of the enterprise projects to give you an idea of what we've been doing with regard to enterprises in the previous programme. So what we've carried out here is just a review of businesses who would have gained from funding through Waterford Leader Partnership in the previous programme. So if we look down to the promoter type, so you can see that new businesses would have been 37% and existing businesses would have been 45%. So we cater for both those who are new startups and those who are established businesses. Again, we're the micro enterprises, and so it's the head count of 1 to 9. Okay, so the legal status then of the companies, there is no stipulation with regard to the criteria at the moment. That may change in the new Leader programme. So it could range from limited company, which the majority they tend to be being a sole trader. Others could be partnerships, associations. So I said there's no set criteria in the current programme. So then the types of sectors that would have gained from support through Waterford Leader Partnership. So 28 there you can see would have been your traditional type enterprises, for example, the engineering, steel, metal fabrication, IT, you have 10 there, the food sector, 3. I suppose that's particularly small. The Leader Partnership would be quite strong with regard to supporting food projects over the years. However, in the start of the programme that's currently closed, the food applications were transferred to the Department of Agriculture, and it was only in the latter of this programme that we opened up to food applications as well. There's also funding towards feasibility studies, so you can see 3 there also for that, and the larger chunk there then is for other projects, for example, well-being, product development, pharmaceutical, tourism projects would fit in there as well. And again, if you visit our website, you will see a list of all the type of projects that we have funded over the last number of years. Okay, so then the type of clients that were coming to us, with regard to were they previous recipients of funding, yes, some of them were. You can see 14 there, but the vast majority, they were new startup businesses, but we are open to both. Okay, so just with regard to the number of employees, then, as I was saying, that were the micro enterprise, so the majority would have been 1 to 5, as I said. It's generally those who are starting up in business. So that's the 61, and then the 21 accounts for those who are between 5 to 10. Now, with the new Leader programme, as I said, we haven't got any set criteria as of yet, but we do believe that the employee headcount will increase, possibly for 1 to 50. Now, again, that's only speculation. We haven't got anything yet, but we do believe that the headcount will increase. Okay, so the type of funding that was sought then, so the vast majority there was for equipment. We have 10% there towards construction, 3 for types of studies, and 12 for marketing supports, website, PR, and so on. Okay, so then this is just a breakdown. So as I said, we cover County Waterford. Now that does exclude the city because we're a rural development company. So it's County Waterford. As I said, I'm based in the middle of the county, which is this section here. In the east of the county, we have an office in Dunhill. Our project officer there is Claire Connors, and I have those details at the end of my presentation. And to the west of the county, we have our CEO, Mr. Jimmy Taff, and also our project officer, Niamh Buds. Okay, so the split of funding then across the county, this was based on the programme that's currently closed off. I suppose looking at the geographic spread of east, west and mid and population density, it is pretty even to spend 3.8 million for the east of the county, 2.6 for the west and 1.7 for the mid of the county. Now, further detail of that, I know you won't be able to see it here because I'd need to expand it, but this map is available on our website, and it gives a breakdown of the investment in County Waterford in the previous Leader programme. So these icons here are the different measures which I talked about at the start of the presentation. So like this one here is for business creation and development. So dotted around the map in the different areas, you can see how many Intramore would have applied to us under business creation and development. And then in the next map, it actually gives you the budgets then that were allocated to each of those areas. So as I said, it's just it's too small there this morning, but you can find that on our website. So who is eligible to apply and what kind of support is available? And just to reiterate again, this is based on the programme that's closed off. We haven't the criteria for the new programme. However, we don't see drastic changes in it, but just bear that in mind. So firstly, who's eligible to apply? So we community groups, non-profit companies, farming families, individuals, sole traders, limited companies, partnerships, associations, are all eligible to apply. And what kind of supports are available then? So capital assistance, construction work, building expansion, equipment, machinery. There's technical assistance for feasibility studies. There's also training assistance, and there's marketing, PR, website grants also. Okay, so then what type of activities are ineligible? Okay, so all types of retail activities except for farm shops, okay, where you'll be looking at farm diversification, the purchase of vehicles, the purchase of land or buildings, employment grants, working capital like the purchase of stock or rent, mainstream agricultural activity, activity that's eligible under any other government programmes, and any activity that's undertaken prior to the issue of a letter of offer. So the letter of offer basically is your contract. So what happens is that you come to ourselves, we prepare the application, which it goes to an independent evaluation committee. If it's approved there, then it goes to the board to a final approval on a project, and then a letter of offer is issued. So you are unable to commence with any element of your project that you've applied for funding for until you have that letter of offer, and if you do, it'll be deemed ineligible. Okay, so then just looking at the supports for business creation and development, which is probably most relevant to yourselves here this morning. Now again, this is based on the programme that's closed off, and there was up to 75% funding for total eligible costs of projects under the support for business creation and development. Now, it has been suggested that that may be 50% in the new Leader programme. Again, we haven't that definitely yet, but it may be 50% granted. It was subject to a maximum grant of 150,000, and in exceptional circumstances, grant aid up to 200,000 was awarded to projects with prior departmental approval. And some projects would have gained from that. Okay, Some of you, depending on what industry you're coming from, you may also fit under the tourism measure. You may be an enterprise that fits in under our tourism measure. Again, this was 75%, and there is a possibility that that will actually now be 50% in the new programme. So the same thing again, it's subject to a maximum of 150,000 and or 200,000 with departmental approval. Okay, so just to give you an example, an engineering firm wishes to purchase new machinery to expand into a niche market and subsequently provide additional local employment. So if they came to us and the total cost for the machinery was 60,000, the grant aid funding at 75% will be 45,000, and the match funding that will come from yourselves will be, the promoter would be 15,000. Now that can come in the form of a loan. It might be a combination of a loan and some of the promoter's own funds. And the grant aid, it's not a loan, it's a grant, and it's not repayable. In the letter of offer in your contract, there is a 5-year clause that, God forbid, if the business was to go belly up in the 5 years, Waterford Leader Partnership would have, if it was machinery that was funded, that they would have a clause on that. But other than that, it's purely grant aid, and it's not repayable.